We got a great one for you today. You loved this amazing talent last time we had him on our channel, so he's back for more. The man who was sued for sounding too much like a legendary singer. He's a man of 1,001 voices, who's also a rock star. Up next, more hilarious stories, as well as a breakdown of Rock Sugar's greatest songs with Jess. And we have a really special surprise for you at the end of this that you're not going to want to miss. It's next on Professor of Rock. Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you've ever tried to force the volume knob past 10 on your radio or your boombox, you're going to love this channel. I broke the knob off a couple times. Make sure that you subscribe below right now to be a part of our community. I mean, we do this every single day. You get insight directly from the legends and the stories of the songs. And check out our latest merch. That's below. And take a look at our Patreon. We have another catalog of content for you there, and that helps us do more videos. So you loved him the first time. You're going to really dig part 2 of this in-depth interview with Jess, the voice behind Wacko Warner from the Animaniacs.
Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Nashville, Tennessee. Elvis used to hang out there a lot, you know.
Crash Bandicoot and so many others.
He's here. I smell him.
He's also the front man of hard rock band Rock Sugar. Rock Sugar is amazing. If you haven't discovered him yet, you need to today. They just take the classic rock songs of our youth and reimagine them in a whole new way. Coming up, Jess tells us how they saved the day when a major festival's headlining act couldn't make it to the gig. Also, so many great stories behind some of these songs and impersonating rock stars. So many hilarious stories and adventures. This is part 2 with everybody's favorite voice actor, the great Jess Harnell. As we go into this interview, I want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear. You know, with Christmas coming around, it's just around the corner. You can head over to Zenni.com right now and get a stylish pair of glasses or sunglasses for you or your loved ones. Protect their eyes from digital blue light by adding Zenni Blue Blocks at checkout. Check it out today. Here's Jess.
I learned early on with the mimicry stuff that it's a great way to get tables at restaurants. Seriously, but here's the key, man. Here's the key for those of you paying attention. You can't call up and say you're a celebrity because they're going to think you're fooling. You got to be your assistant. You got to be the celebrity assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, like for instance, like Spago in Beverly Hills, this is one that actually happened in the not too distant past. You call Spago and you say, do you have a table tonight? Oh no, we're completely booked. We're completely booked. See, and by the way, this is the only time I would ever use my powers for anything evil, if they are powers, because I'm like, you're completely booked unless. Yeah. See, I don't like the unless, because nobody should be treated better than anybody else. Right. So you call back and you go, the guy's phone again. Hi, Spago, can I help you? Say, yes, hi, who's the manager on duty, please? That would be Tony. Okay, could I speak to Tony, please? May I tell him who's calling? Yes, my name is Trevor. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger's assistant. Oh, hang on a minute. Hello, this is Tony. Hi, Tony. My name is Trevor. Would you hold for Mr. Schwarzenegger? Okay.
Hello, how are you? Listen, my friends, they want to come in to have dinner at your restaurant and they're very busy. These guys are crazy. They look like they're a rock band. They've got big hair. They're crazy. You're gonna have fun with them. I know you're very, very booked up, but I would appreciate it if you take care of my friends tonight.
Next thing you know, we go in there, we get free dessert and free parking. The Rock Sugar thing totally started as a goof. The way it came about was my dear best buddy for years and years of my life. We met when we were like 14 years old, Chuck Duran. Okay, he's the guitar player in the band. We were singing karaoke someplace, and we were actually singing Journey. And there was a guy there who had a resort on an island called Turks and Caicos, okay? It's somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. And he came over and he said, man, I really love the way you sing Journey stuff. And I said, oh, thanks, I've been doing it for my whole life, because it's true. And he said, how would you guys like to come to my island, this resort that we have? And he goes, and all you gotta do, he goes, half an hour every day at sunset, come with an acoustic guitar, do a few Journey songs. He goes, I can't pay you. I checked out for a minute, but then he said, but I can get you out there first class, give you a villa on the island. You can have free kayaking. You can have free this, parasailing, this, and scuba diving, and all this stuff that I loved. And he goes, all your food and everything will be covered. And I went, we kind of looked at each other and said, I got nothing going in 2 weeks, So we went out there and we're playing these Journey songs. And one day we sat down on the beach And I said to him, it would have been much more romantic if my wife was there, which unfortunately was my guitar player, so it wasn't quite the same. and the sun is setting, and I said to Chuck, I said, you know, it'd be a funny idea for a band, because my mind has always worked in weird ways. And he said, what? I said, if there was an 80s metal band, like a quintessential 80s metal band, like a Poison, a Def Leppard, whatever, Guns N' Roses, whatever you want to call it, who got shipwrecked at the end of the 80s on a desert island and had nothing to listen to. It's a long story, but it's all, you know, represented online. You can find it. Had nothing to listen to for the 20 years they were on this island except pop records from the 80s. And eventually and slowly became brainwashed into thinking that pop and metal were the same thing. And he said, well, how would that work, man? That doesn't make any sense. I said, well, you know, like you could play like Enter Sandman by Metallica, but I could sing Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and we could call it Don't Stop the Sandman. So he takes out the guitar and he starts noodling around with chords, and sure enough, kind of worked. So we said, well, let's do this thing, right? But we put this album together, and the first video that we made was for Don't Stop the Salmon. Just a small town girl. And this thing went viral in a huge way. It got millions of hits on YouTube, like millions and millions of hits. And all of a sudden, we started getting phone calls. How would you guys like to open the Download Festival on a bill with Aerosmith? How would you like to be on a bill with AC/DC? How would you like to be on a bill with Def Leppard? And we're just looking at each other going, this was a goof, man. This was just something we thought was silly. But what I loved about it, Adam, and on a deeper level, once you get past, because people have said, is it okay that I laugh when I hear this stuff? When you play You Shook Me All Night Long and then you start singing Madonna's Like a Prayer, I started laughing. Is that bad? I said, no, man, laughing is always good.
Yeah.
But hopefully after 20 seconds of laughing, you started going, this is actually pretty cool. And they said, I did.
Yeah.
And that's what we're shooting for.
Reimagining that I love is Don't Stop the Sandman. We talked about it a little bit.
Man.
I love how you do the solo, the Neil Sean solo.
Yeah.
You have the guitarist start to play a certain song. How do you put the songs together? Like with this song being an example.
Okay, that's a good one. Well, that one came about, that was my initial idea. But the heavy lifting is absolutely done by Chuck. Because what happens is I'll have, a simple idea that more often than not will actually work, but I don't know the construction. He then has to go at him into his musical laboratory, and go, oh, I've got to put some of this in column A and put it with this. And he puts his potions together. So he figures out the nuts and bolts. But the best way I can illustrate the partnership is not so much on Salmon, although that was his thing. It was off to never, never land into the Don't Stop Believin' solo, and it just lifts it up. Right, yeah, and it takes you from one to the other seamlessly. That was Chucky's thing. But what happened was after we did that song, we knew we had something. So I said, okay, man, I came up with that one. You got to come up with the next one. So he, to his credit, like a week later, he sends me this skeleton audio track, which I got to play you one of these someday, man, because it's the records, like scotch taped together before we start any tracking. And it sounds really, really weird. He came up with something called We Will Kickstart Your Rhapsody.
In fact, that's the next song I was going to ask you about.
There you go.
I love it.
It's
we're
amazing.
Tracking.
Right, we're on the same page, bro. Imagine that. It's We Will Rock You with Bohemian Rhapsody and Motley's Kickstart My Heart. Right?
Motley, Crue, and Queen, baby.
Come on, as if they shouldn't go together, Motley, Queen. So he calls me up, he goes, dude, I put this together. I said, wow, that sounds insane, man. So he plays it for me. So creative, and we got the a cappella vocal into the Motley riff. And then we're singing We Will Rock You over the Motley riff and then back into the Queen thing. And we bring back Bohemian Rhapsody at the end. And it was this masterful arrangement that he did that was so genius. It was so great. So he called me over to his studio to hear it. And I did. And I went over there and he played it for me. And I said, man, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I said, well, listen, I got to go do a cartoon. And he goes, no, dude. I spent a lot of time on this. You got to come up with the next one. And I said, oh, really? And he goes, yeah, and you got to do it quick because we got to keep the ball rolling. You got to keep the ball rolling. And I thought, well, look, I got this session and then I'm going out to dinner. Then tomorrow I'm really busy. So I said, well, hang on a second. And I said, well, like, what's a really good riff, dude? What's a good riff? And he goes, what do you mean? Like a classic metal riff? And he goes, I don't know, Crazy Train? And he goes, bum, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Then the chord pattern, bum, 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 ba, da, 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 bum, 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 bum. And I went, Jesse is a friend. And sure enough, it worked. And I go, there you go. And I left. So it took me like 35 seconds. And he's like, bastard, because it actually worked. Jesse is a friend. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's like sometimes we slaved over them. We have one on the new album called Rebels Out of Heaven. And it's Bruno Mars, of Locked Out of Heaven.
Locked Out of Heaven.
Great song,
Sure.
which is a great song. And then Billy Idol's classic, Rebel Yell. We got together to work on that one night, and we were absolutely hell-bent on doing We're Not Gonna Take It with was it Rebel Yell? Oh, no, with Bruno Mars. And we just worked on it for like 2.5 hours, couldn't make it work. And then we shut down the computer, and as we're leaving, I said, wait a minute, what's that? How does Rebel Yell go? And he started, bow, down, da, down, oh yeah. And I went, that's perfect, it fits. And it took us 5 minutes.
Well, sometimes as human beings, we hear a song and I'm not a musician.
Yeah.
So
You could have fooled me.
I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, you don't know your stuff because you don't know chords or you don't know what this is A minor or whatever."
I don't either. Neither does Paul McCartney, by the way. How about that?
Exactly.
He's done okay.
Exactly. But we hear things, and as a kid, I remember hearing Heart and Soul.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis. And the
Sure.
News. And 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Yeah.
For some reason, those songs are connected to me in my mind. They
I can see
sound
that.
similar.
I can see that, yeah.
I'm
going through it.
Yeah, and so I wonder if those could come together. But anyway, those aren't really metal. But my point is, we hear, our ear, as humans, we can hear a couple of songs, we're like, I hear that. I can hear that in there. And that's why critics will say something like Locked Out of Heaven. I mean, that's very much a Sting, that's a Police. The way,
Totally.
even
The
the
feel of it.
essence of it is there, even without the shuffle beat. It's the way that he approaches it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's great because it helps us to go back to those songs. So the second I heard Locked Out of Heaven, it pushed me on this Police kick for like 2 months.
You know what's funny too, man?
It's a great song too,
It is
Locked Out of Heaven.
Oh, it is fantastic.
To me, it's separate from the Police, but it's got the essence of it, right?
As soon as I heard that song the first time, I went, well, there's a hit for you, Bruno.
Yeah.
Well done, man.
It's a reawakening of why we love these songs so much, but it's also kind of a puzzling thing. What you have to do with this album when you get it, before you even listen, you've got to read the titles.
Yeah.
And you got to see if you can figure out what they are from the titles.
We wanted this to be fun, pure and simple,
Yeah.
and still do. If it wasn't fun, first of all, we wouldn't do it. And that's where it all stems from. It's a desire to kind of get away from stuff and see it in a new way.
I'd walk the world with you, babe.
So with the titles, even that, I was like, we got to come up with titles that are going to make people like Adam Reeder, who I didn't even know at the time, want to look at the back of this and go, okay, dreaming of a whole lot of breakfast. Well, whole lotta, that's got to be whole lot of love because it's spelled L-O-T-T-I. Okay, breakfast. Now, only the truly educated are going to put together that, take a look at my girlfriend. It's called Breakfast in America because most people don't know that.
Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got.
So, okay, whole lot of breakfast. Dreaming of. Dream on? Yes.
Every time that I look in the mirror.
There you go. Dream on, whole lot of love and Breakfast in America.
Look at my girlfriend, she's the only one I got.
So we tried to make even that part of it a puzzle. Like, remember Cracker Jack boxes where there would be the little surprise inside? The titles are the prize inside. What I love is that the less songs there are, the harder it is. Because one of the hardest titles to figure out is Crazy Girl. Crazy Girl. Well, it's Crazy Train and Jesse's Girl, like we talked about. Crazy Girl, that's tough. See, it's like, Rebels Out of Heaven, you would get that.
But even that stems so many different ideas, right?
Yeah.
When you're just reading the titles, you're like, okay, after I listen to this record, now I got to go back and make a playlist of all of these songs
The originals.
that Jess covered
That we
in
combined,
these songs that we combined, that
Yeah.
we reinvented. And now I'm going to reappreciate them in a different way.
Absolutely,
With
'cause
different ears.
That's all we're coming from, is that appreciation. I mean, like, one of my favorite ones also on the new album, Walk in Black for Centuries.
You got to tell us, the viewers, about how you got in the Download Festival, because here you are, you're playing on the same stages as
Yeah.
the heroes, the people that you had up on your wall
Yeah.
as a kid.
It's incredible. Well, a big part of that was because with that first album that we made, which was totally 80s centric, it was all 80s tunes. The new one, we have 80s meets today
Yeah,
too, which is kind of
right.
cool. But we developed very quickly a very big, very vocal fan base. The Download Festival is one of the last bastions where 100,000 people still come to hear rock bands play.
They had you come back on stage again,
Oh, that,
right?
God, that was, oh my God, no, man. Oh, Adam, that was a festival called Memphis in May. Memphis in May is a huge music festival. You know, Beale Street, one of the great homes
Incredible.
of music in America, right? Going back to the
I got
blues.
a chance to stay there for 2 months, and I was on Beale Street like every other night.
Of course you were. You're a music guy. You're letting it soak up like a sponge with a fedora. I get it. No, what happened was we got invited to play there because we had been broke on the radio by a couple of DJs named Drake and Zeke who discovered the Rock Sugar stuff, and they started playing Rock Sugar, and the request lines light up, right? We flew out to Memphis. It was our first gig as Rock Sugar in America, right? And we go there, and we're playing in the afternoon. We were on right before Vince Neil from Motley Crue. And I remember Vince came out and watched our set, which I thought was pretty cool. So we're out there, and I'm watching Vince Neil. We played this set. Tons of people there, like maybe 6,000 people singing along. They knew the arrangements. It was this wonderful day, right? We came out, we did this set. And afterwards, we went and we're looking out at the bridges and the water and the golden sunlight. And it's like, this is a day we're never going to forget, man. We came out, we launched. The radio loved us. The people loved us. We were giving interviews. The promoters were saying, we can't wait to have you guys back. Well, that night, the headlining band that year was Three Doors Down. And they said, hey, you want us to send some golf carts and we'll take you down to watch Three Doors Down on the side of the stage. We said, sure, man. They were playing the biggest stage there. So they take us down there and they put us on the side of the stage and there's free snacks. And we're sitting there and all of a sudden, I asked somebody, I said, what time are they going on? They said 9:15. 9:15 comes and goes, 9:30, 9:40. There's 20,000 people out there and they're getting restless and they want to see Three Doors Down and the crowd's getting restless. And all of a sudden there's this buzz kind of going on. People are talking, people are saying stuff, right? And it became clear. Three Doors Down were stuck in weather in Nashville and their plane couldn't take off. So they weren't going to show up. Okay. And I hear people going, there's going to be a riot. These people are going to go crazy. They're going to go nuts. Right? As Walken would say, it's crazy. It's nuts, these people. So what happened was the promoter walks over to us and says, oh my God, you guys are still here. And the word was that we had done a good job. And they said, would you guys be willing to go on in place of Three Doors Down? And my guitar player, my partner in the band, Chucky, God bless him, he's not quite as crazy or courageous as I am in these weird situations. And he went, no, we don't want to do that. They're going to kill us. They're going to throw stuff at us.
Kidding.
Yeah, and I don't want to deal with it. And I said, no, we'll do it. It'll be great. It'll be great. And Chuck's like, no. And the mayor of Memphis happened to be there. So they send him out onto the stage, right? And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, and people kind of quiet down. And he goes, listen, we've got a bit of news for you. You know, I'm sure you guys are going to handle this with great decorum. He said, unfortunately, Three Doors Down have been trapped in bad weather in Nashville and they're not going to be here tonight. Immediately, chairs started flying through the air onto the stage. Yeah, and beer bottles and cans. And he's like ducking and stuff. He goes, wait. And Chuck's like, I'm leaving. I'm not playing. And I ran out on the stage because sometimes I don't think before I leave. And this was one of those instances. I ran out on the stage and I grabbed the microphone and I think, see, what's great about me is from a distance, I look like everybody who's ever been in any band. So immediately, these people who might have had a few beers are like, hey man, is that one of the Def Leppard guys? Who is that? You know? So I grabbed the mic and I go, listen, everybody, listen, my name is Jesse. I sing with a band called Rock Sugar. And enough people there kind of knew us that they kind of went, woohoo. There were a few scattered. Yeah. And I said, and we came here just like you did to see Three Doors Down and they can't make it. And I know they're bummed out about it. We're bummed out about it too. But if you guys will let us, we'd love to come out here and try to kick your butt all over again like we did this afternoon. If you didn't see us, I think you're going to have a good time. Can we would you mind giving us that shot? Right? And everybody started kind of warming up to it. And I said, are you guys ready? Are you sure you're not too tired? And we came out there and we did this fantastic show. We were on the cover of the Memphis Tribune the next day, and it said, "Rock Sugar saves Memphis in May." And it talked about how I averted a riot. So I'm like, dude, I'm like on the SWAT team of rock. You know, I mean, we pulled it off, man. It all worked out in the end, and everybody was happy.
I love that story.
Isn't that cool?
That is a great
True story, man.
Great rock and roll story.
It is
man.
a good one, yeah. What a way to start.
Make sure to leave us a comment about Jess Harnell, the man of 1,000 voices and rock voices. What do you think of the music? What do you think of Rock Sugar? You're going to hear these songs in a whole new way, I promise. It really gives you a new appreciation for the music. That's what I love. It's really a tip of the hat to the classics that we all love. Let us know in the comments. If you like this video, we invite you to be a full-time part of our community by subscribing. Also, we invite you to check out our Patreon. Just give it a look. It helps us keep the music alive. Until next time, the records and the truth, my friends.